And welcome to AMHQ Weekend. Today is Saturday, February the 28th. I'm Kate Parker.
That's right, I'm Dr. Greg Postel. We got a lot on our plate today, a lot of winter weather still, and we're going back to Reynolds Wolf in Chicago in just a minute. But first, take a look at this picture, the big picture.
The big picture, because I know that you guys have those plans. You're like, hey, I finally need to go to the grocery store. I need to get out and about. You better bundle up because the record-breaking cold in the east has its grips on you, and it's not letting go.
No, it's not. And with that cold air, we have Winter Storm Sparta gearing up across parts of the south. And it's not just going to be here. It's heading toward the northeast again.
And then could we see another storm behind that? I hate being the bearer of bad news, but we do look like we could see our next winter storm that's going to track across the entire country this week. And that's, again, timing out right at the start of your work week again. Who would have thought?
I know, right.
Okay, so let's get right to our Reynolds Wolf. He is live for us in Chicago this morning along Michigan Avenue. Now, Reynolds, Winter Storm Sparta going to be causing some problems there, but it's the Great Lakes, it's the advisories that we have in place, it's everything in Chicago. It's brutal there.
We'll get them the record. All-time seasonal snowfall could happen soon.
It's so close, and it's like after such a brutal winter, I know that it's kind of salt in the wound, but I think the Bostonians kind of want this, right?
I guess if you're that close, you might as well go for it.
You're going to suffer through it. We might as well break the record. That's our thoughts this morning.
Right.
All right, well, a man buried by snow. A man clearing snow from his roof. He found himself trapped for nearly 4 hours after several feet of snow fell on him without warning. Anthony Miller from WHDA. Synchronize. All right,
Done.
we got it. We got it, guys. We got it synchronized up. Okay, so it is 20 days. You've got your eyes on the prize. We're looking at it. We're looking down the road, but not in Columbus, Ohio. Not yet. Ring the bell. You've got a new record, 6 degrees. That's what temperature you're sitting at right now. The old record was 1 degree, so you broke it by a full 7. That old record set in 1934. So what happened in 1934? To give you some perspective, the last time it was even close to this cold in Columbus, Ohio, Babe Ruth's final game as a Yankee happened in 1934. Persia became Iran in 1934. The first Three Stooges short was released that year, and Hank Aaron was born. So to give you some perspective on what happened then, it's still 7 degrees colder right now. 7 degrees colder than when that last record was set. Incredible cold. It's continuing. Dangerous cold as well. You have to be prepared for this. You can't just run out to the grocery store and think you're going to be okay, especially in places like Bridgeport, Connecticut, where you've just matched the record. We're getting closer in New York. Look at this. The old record, 14 degrees. You're sitting at 15 right now. So just flirting. Just flirting with that record low. 0 degrees in Binghamton, New York. That broke the old record of 2 degrees set back in 1994. So we are just taking these records and we're just smashing them all over the place. 6 degrees below in Burlington. You are currently at 20 degrees in D.C., but it feels like 10 because of these winds. 17 below is what it feels like in Burlington. Pittsburgh, a whopping 0. Philly, a whopping 4 degrees is what it feels like. But today we get a little warmer. That's all relative, of course, to right now's current temperatures. Only a high of 30 in New York. Boston, you'll be 29. Pittsburgh, 26. D.C. staying below freezing. And the thing is, that's 20 degrees below average. 20 degrees below average. 33 for you tomorrow. New York, you're going to be about 34 for you tomorrow. Pittsburgh, this is what your forecast looks like. Your average high is 43 degrees. You're going to only hit that on Wednesday, and that's just a hair above it. And then those temperatures, boom, another 20-degree drop the day after. So you're going to feel that change happen very quickly and wish and just beg for spring. Again, 20 days away to spring. 20 days. D.C., enjoy Wednesday. I'm saying look at this week. Okay, your average high is 51. You're in the 30s the next 2 days. You're in the 40s. It's cold. By Wednesday, this is when you need to make all those reservations, make plans to go outside. I know how busy those restaurants get, and it's hard to make reservations. You may see those actually already filled up by the time you get to Wednesday because it is going to be so nice outside by comparison. So we've got the record cold sticking around all the way through the weekend. Just make sure that you're mentally prepared for that and physically prepared for it as well. Now, kayaking over the Potomac's Great Falls in the summer, that seems terrifying enough, right? But what if you did it in the middle of winter and over ice-coated rocks as well? A pair of photographers captured these kayakers in action. They're going to be joining us live when we come back next. if you're trying to drive, if you're trying to, and we're not just talking about, hey, long road trips, those are dangerous in and of themselves, but just getting home from work, if you have to work this morning like we do here, or whatever you may be doing, travel trouble. Problems on your roads. Now, taking a look at I-80 here, you can see in places like Omaha, we do have a little bit of snow in the forecast for you on this Saturday. Chicago, you get on the southern edge of the northern edge of this snow by the time we get into later tonight. The heaviest snow going to be more across southern Missouri and southern Illinois, as well as southern Indiana. That's tonight, but look at tomorrow. It spreads a little farther to the north, and you'll notice that I-80 just kind of stays right here on the cusp of this snowfall. So winter storm Sparta going to be causing some travel problems. Places like Cleveland, you're going to see it Sunday night as your maybe whatever your Sunday night plans are. If you have a family dinner plan, you may need to rethink that and say, okay, it's time to stay inside and not travel because road's going to be treacherous there. State College, another spot that we're going to see some of those issues along with Pittsburgh. And then look at this, Sunday night into Monday morning, we've got snow in the northeast. So places like New York City, you could even be in kind of a mix here and see a wintry mix of precipitation, which can be a concern. Now, in the past week, 2 winter storms have put tens of thousands